So can you tell me a little bit about this summit and the importance of this, particularly as it pertains to Dubuque and the issues that it's seeing with flooding?
Well, the Upper Mississippi River Basin Association is here to discuss levee systems, for instance, how they're managed in the upper stem of the Mississippi. Every state is different in its regulations. Some don't have any regulations. And so there are a lot of issues around that affect cities, everything from nutrient loading to flooding in communities. And so we're, as an organization, very interested in what this discussion is going to yield. And we're hoping that we can be a part of that discussion going forward and solve some of these issues.
Okay, so what's kind of the focus of this? I guess what are you hoping in terms of outcomes from this summit?
Well, I'm hoping that people can come together, come up with some ideas to normalize how cities or different states actually address levees and flooding issues, because right now it's just it varies from city to city and from state to state, and there's no cohesive approach to how to manage it all on the main stem of the Mississippi. So in these discussions, I'm hoping they can come together around some common issues and some common I guess solutions, to solving some of those issues.
So what are the implications for Dubuque, related to what other people in the basin do regarding their levee systems?
Well, as we like to say, in the MRCTI, is we're all affected by what other cities do, both up and down the Mississippi River, and we have a common cause, to address all those issues collectively as mayors, and each city has a little different issue, whether it's a nutrient loading issue or an invasive species issue or a flooding issue. And so Dubuque is a part of that mix. We have issues with nutrient loading, and we're working in our Catfish Creek watershed with Iowa University, to try to come up with a solution in how to monitor that and address it. So that's just one example of how we're working in the city of Dubuque to address issues that really affect everyone along the Mississippi.
Okay. And in your speech, I think you mentioned that we're kind of living in an age of extremes. Can you kind of elaborate maybe a little bit on that?
Well, here in Dubuque this summer is a great example. You look at all of the major rain events that we're having. There's one predicted for possibly tonight. Those are unprecedented. I mean, we don't see those all the time, and it's happening year after year, in this country. And so they're weather extremes that normally you would see once every 100 years or every 1,000 years, that we're seeing in multiple years, one after another, or 3 or 4, in a 10-year span. So it really, climate is changing, and as the climate warms, it holds more moisture, so you're subject to more of these types of events.